So there's this moment that happens for all of us. You stop asking, why do I keep choosing the wrong men? And you start asking the slightly more uncomfortable question. Why does a part of me still feel at home with the men and in relationship dynamics that aren't really right for me? Even when I know better. You are not alone in this, because knowing your patterns isn't the same thing as outgrowing them. And that's what this video is going to talk about. Because you've watched the other videos, you understand your patterns, you know your nervous system, you can spot a red flag and a green flag from a mile away like a pro at this point. And yet, when you're actually dating, and when you're dating someone new, someone you really, really like, it still feels like your old self jumps into the driver's seat. The version of you that future projects and goes into a fantasy too soon, gets pulled into intensity, loses herself a little bit, becomes anxious when she wants connection. And you're sitting there thinking, but I know all of this. Why am I still doing it? Girl, because information and embodiment are two different milestones in your journey. So let's normalize for a second, because so far, learning and creating awareness of what's getting in the way of you having that healthy, loving, long-lasting relationship, right? That was the right step to take. But where do you move on from there when you don't see anything tangibly improving in your dating journey to partnership? And most of us get stuck in this spot, which can leave you feeling a little bit jaded and left with the dialogue, women have outgrown men in emotional intelligence. So there's no point even looking for a man who can match me, right? That dialogue is everywhere on social media, that women have outgrown men, there are no really good men left, all men are selfish, men are only looking to take advantage. And all of these things, they kind of just put you off finding a relationship, don't they? Because you're sort of like, well, if this is how men really are, if all men secretly hate women, why am I looking for a relationship? And the best thing I can say is, don't go down that rabbit hole, okay? Here's the part nobody actually tells you. Lasting change in dating doesn't click into place when you know better. It clicks when who you are starts to shift, right? And this is the part where dating stops feeling like one big performance in an anxiety dream and starts feeling in alignment with your goals and starts feeling like you again, right? Where the version of you showing up on the date finally matches the version of you who knows all of this content from watching YouTube red flags, green flags, and reading self-development books. And, you know, I get that you want dating to feel grounded, calm, like you can actually trust yourself, like you're not constantly managing your reactions all the time and second guessing yourself and trying to suppress yourself, right? Like you are finally on your own team with your best interests at heart. Like you're not second guessing and, you know, hyper analyzing every single thing you say and do and everything that he says and does, right? And you can actually have fun and let go in the dating process to finding your partner, because isn't romance supposed to be an enjoyable thing? we forget, right? We do all of this work and we just completely forget that, right? So you want to find your partner without worrying. You want to feel like the woman who can actually hold the kind of relationship she wants, not just dream about it. Because here's the truth. You can have it all, right? And you can have all the knowledge in the world and still feel pulled into the same patterns if your identity, so that's how you identify, who do you think you are, what do you feel you deserve, on the deepest level and your emotional baseline as a result of that identity, right? If that hasn't shifted with it, then you're going to be getting the same results. Are you the woman who gets love? Are you a woman who trusts herself and behaves within her value system? Do you believe that you deserve love? A lot of you will be saying yes with your mind to those things, but often when we don't get what we want, there is a belief system deep down that says otherwise, right? And at first we can sometimes end up projecting our feelings onto the outside world. So like I said, there are no good men left, or all the men lack emotional intelligence. But at some point, if we still desire a relationship, we have to ask a deeper question. What is it that keeps giving me experiences that validates those negative beliefs, right? And when you're doing dating with old wiring, old instincts, old survival patterns, that's what we keep experiencing. Because it goes without saying, my love, that you are, of course, deserving of anything you desire, including love, right? You are lovable. You are that woman already. You just need to become her again. It's not about becoming somebody else. It's about becoming the you before all of this started, okay? So this video is about the shift that actually changes who you become in connection, in embodiment, in real time. Not the theory, not the red flags, not the patterns, but the becoming. The part where you don't just understand healthier dynamics, you actually start living with them naturally, calmly, without fighting yourself, right? And this is usually the point in a self-development journey to finding happy, healthy, lasting love, where you might realize that you don't want to do the next part alone and that you actually need and want help. Many women realize that at this point in the journey, right? They want support while they're becoming the version of themselves that their future relationship actually needs. And this was definitely a part of my journey and how I ended up as a dating coach for accomplished women, because we experience very niched issues in the dating world, as you already know, right? So we'll come back to that at the end. Let's go deeper first. So behavior one is, and this is, remember, these are the behaviors that help these women become who they want to be so that they can get the relationship they actually deserve and desire, right? So behavior one, she stops dating to be chosen and starts dating to choose. There's a shift that happens internally. She stops performing, right? You stop performing. You stop waiting to be picked. You stop editing yourself, and suddenly you're not anxiously watching his behavior. You're observing yourself. Who am I around him? Do I like who I am in this dynamic? Does this feel like home or like survival? This shift alone recalibrates your entire dating life, right? Shift number two, your nervous system stops running the show. And instead of overriding your reactions, right, or shaming yourself for them, you get curious about what's going on in your dating and relationship world. Why does calm feel a bit boring? Why does consistent feel suspicious? Why does emotional availability feel overwhelming? And I feel like I need a really big break with that emotionally available man because he is just so consistent, right? When you finally get that man, it can actually be an incredibly uncomfortable, triggering, weird, extremely weird experience that has no familiarity in your body whatsoever, right? And slowly your body actually will stop confusing safety with danger and danger with excitement, okay? Because that's probably what's going on at the moment. And that's where attraction changes. That's where your type begins to soften. You can feel desire without losing yourself inside it. And this is big. This one is huge. Attraction doesn't make you abandon yourself anymore, right? You don't actually speed up the pace. You don't give up everything you've been building for all these years and months and weeks and whatever, right? You don't give up your friendship groups and your hobbies and your spare time and your alone time and your preferences, right? You don't future jump, right? You don't go too much into fantasism, and if you do, you're able to stay grounded within it. You don't future pace. You're just present in the moment, in real time, data gathering, feeling patient, able to handle the uncertainty of the connection, able to handle the gray areas and the difficult conversations. You don't adjust your needs, right? Being flexible and compromising doesn't mean adjusting your needs, because your needs are your needs. You can't adjust them. But so many of us do that because we learnt to do that in our childhood. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, then go back and start watching the videos in this playlist, because we really go into depth explaining how these patterns get set up when we're quite young, right? So you don't need to adjust your needs to keep the connection alive. You don't give up everything and everyone else in your life to prioritize the connection, you stay anchored. You're a grown woman who's built a beautiful life for herself, and you're now slowly integrating this new man. You stay honest with yourself. You stay with yourself, not the fantasy. You no longer confuse longing with love. Two majorly different things, right? You know that pull feeling, that craving, that almost intoxicating longing when someone just gives you breadcrumbs, right? You no longer mistake that for meaning. You recognize it for what it is, longing as chemistry and not compatibility. And this is where the cycle really breaks. Okay, pattern breaking behavior number 5. Your standards become effortless, not performative. Wait. Okay, becoming behavior number 5. Your standards become effortless, not performative. Boundaries stop feeling like rules, right? That you need to remember. Like, what was the rule book? What was the red flag again? They just feel like you. Like, this is just what it is for me, and this is what I like, and this is what I dislike, and this is a boundary, and it's not emotionally charged, right? They just feel like you. Walking away isn't dramatic because you've got your pinpoint focus on what it is that you want, that you're not getting attached to the man necessarily. You're getting attached to, if I'm going to bring a man into my life, this is what my life's going to look like. And if it's not that, then there is naturally a less attachment to it because you're not looking to bring something chaotic into your world, right? Slowing down isn't a strategy, and discernment isn't a defense mechanism, right? It all just becomes natural, grounded, second nature. And that is the becoming. If you've watched all the way to this video, that tells me something really important about you, that you're not just learning, you're ready to live differently. And the becoming phase is the phase where most women realize, I really don't want to figure this part out alone anymore, right? I want someone in my corner while I actually become this version of me. You'll know if that's you, if the last few videos have helped you see yourself more clearly. If you've watched all the way to this video, that tells me something really important about you. You're not just learning, you're ready to live differently. And the becoming phase, which is basically the phase where most women realize, I don't really want to figure this part out alone anymore. I want someone in my corner while I actually become this version of myself. You'll know if that's you. And you'll know if that's you, especially if the last few videos have helped you see yourself more clearly, right? So if that is you, the next step is figuring out what support looks like for you so that this change actually lasts. So I really hope that this video series has helped you. And from the bottom of my heart, you're so worthy of love. And I am wishing you an amazing dating journey to finding long-lasting, healthy relationship with lots of love.